Hello, and welcome to The Red Button, the only podcast where a teenager gives you life advice. With the red button pressed and no cuts from hereafter, let's hope it all goes swimmingly, despite me being usually completely incapable to actually, speak in the real world, or anytime it comes to recording, I jumble my words up, which is a shame. Today we're going to be talking about the goals of the podcast, and why my computer's messing up, there we go. The goals of the podcast, 2020 and what I want to achieve in this year, the coronavirus outbreak, and what I think of the current state of YouTube. So if those things interest you, I'd stay in. It's going to be an interesting ride and an interesting roller coaster. So first of all, we're going to go into the goals of this podcast. So my first goal is to make a podcast that works, and it also will tie into what I want to do in 2020, but we'll get onto that later. So the goals of this podcast is mainly just a place for me to sort of almost vent, not necessarily as much as I'm 15, I'm not 15, I am 16, I'm 16, my life's so hard sort of thing, but more like just give my overall opinion on some things, and just sort of, I don't know, get it out there, I guess. I've done many YouTube videos, many other things before, and they've gone alright, I'd say. I've never really gone that poorly. But yeah, I think it's going to be quite a nice time to chill. It's going to be all unedited, so if I slip up, if I swear, if I say things I probably shouldn't, it's all part of the thing. It's all part of what I do. And it's why this is a red quirk. No, this is a quirk to the podcast, even though it's pretty much not. And it's why it's called the red button, because I press one red button and then I don't touch it. It might be claimed by the BBC or just the television industry in general with the remote control, but I think the television industry is dying, so I'm going to take it for my own. So the goals of this podcast, I'm not too sure. I honestly, it's putting as one of the first key topics. It's one of the first things I'll ever speak about in a podcast. You think I've had a bit more of a grasp on what to actually say, but I'm not too sure. I feel like it's where I'm going to put it first. As much as I'd love to set up Spotify, I'm not sure how to do that, if there's any costs involved, but maybe I'll try and set that up. I think that would be quite nice to set up on Spotify, because that's the one I use the most. If not, it'll probably God, what's it called now? That SoundCloud. I was just gonna call it the orange cloud thing. SoundCloud. It'll probably end up in there. If not, and I'll probably also put it on YouTube as well. So if you'd listen to this on YouTube, hello YouTube. But we are just here to chill. We are just here to sit down and just enjoy our time together, I guess. Enjoy probably the next hour. I don't think I'll ever make them over an hour long, because no one really wants to listen to me speak for an hour. I don't even have that much to say, I'm not going to lie, for an hour. Unless I just go into tangents, which I guess is the point in a podcast, is just being able to go into a long enough tangent where you're alright, but not go too far. So that's cool. This is gonna be a long ride. It's gonna be a long journey. I used to do. I say I used to do. I'm sort of off doing it now, but I used to do quite a bit of Twitch streaming. So you'd think I'd be a bit better and develop my skills from there, but I don't think I have done. I suppose it's a bit different, isn't it? 'Cause when you're streaming, you just say what's happening. Where in a podcast, nothing ever really happens too much. I mean, I can look out a window. It's sunny. I mean, you can't hear me probably as much when I turn away, but it is sunny. We are middle of winter. I am planning to go out later today, outside, do something which most teenagers don't do. So I don't know how that's going to end. Hopefully better. Hopefully good. I'm not too sure. Also, I hope it sounds good. Because it's funny, right? So, well, it's not funny, it's annoying. So, on my PC, I spent about how much? Probably over £100 on everything I've got, microphone wise. So I've got a proper microphone. You'll hear it clink. Okay, we can't. Well, it's right next to you. So there's a proper microphone there. It's got a pop filter. It's got everything. Maybe I should just stick the pop filter in front of it. That's such a good idea. I'm so smart. There we are. There we are. If I just speak with that in front of my face, then it's at least a bit better. So, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I've got a proper microphone. I spent about 80 quid on the actual microphone. It's a AKG. It's P120. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know what it is, but I think I got a really cheap preamp. So, in that means that, well, instead of using my actual PC, because the audio quality is always absolutely trash whenever I record anything, I'm ending up just using my phone, because my phone microphone is much better than the actual microphone, which is sad saying my phone. Well, actually no, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. You know, it's a chill Saturday today. It's a chill Saturday. I've got a few plans for today later on. I've got a few productivity things I want to do. I always love to be productive whenever I do things, and I always love to try new things. It's why I do things like this podcast. And I'll get into that a lot more in what I want to do in 2020, because I made a list for myself of things I want to do and try. And even though doing all of them is probably not feasible, I think just doing enough of them and seeing like, well, actually, this is you know what? We'll move on to the next. We'll move on to the next one. Yeah, we're apparently a quarter of the way through 10 minutes in, which isn't good, but I think this one's going to be quite a long one, because I always have things to achieve. I always love achieving things and completing things. And one of these, well, I've got 4 main ones that I've put here, which is a book, a podcast, my YouTube, and music. So I have a huge interest in all of those. Not necessarily reading. I love reading, but I just never get time to it. Now, how I see it is, would I rather read for an hour or watch YouTube or watch a film? And it's either a film or YouTube. It's never normally a book. But I'm planning to I'm planning to write a book, which I'm actually really excited to do. I have planned it out, so I'll just go on it on my PC. I've got a story plan and I've got a story arc. So, I've got about 5 characters so far. I've planned out 5 characters. I'm gonna plan some more out later. I've got a rough basic plan for everything on my PC. So, I've got to chapter 5, but my goal for the book really is to make it at least 100 pages long, which I looked in a lot of books from professional authors, and that's quite a feasible task, I think. I think most books are ended up like 100, well, most smaller books are like 123, 150 pages. So if I'm planning for 100, sure, it's going to be a huge task. Obviously, I'm not employed as a book writer, but I think if I can feasibly do it, feasibly print it out, I'd be really chuffed with myself, and I think it's a good project. If I'm just sat in the house and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just sat here wasting my time. I feel like, you know what? Instead of maybe recording a video, instead of maybe doing a podcast, depending how this one goes, I could just sit here, write a book, or, do things like that. I always love to be productive, but I just never have the time. It's just, I need to manage my time more. I find myself like just sitting here and just watching YouTube. Like, I can't even bring my analytics. So, I'm trying to remember now. So, I put on Instagram. I'll see if I can find it. I don't think I'll be able to, but I put on Instagram something about my hours of watch time on Instagram. I can't add it, so I can't look at my highlights, which is a shame. But basically, what it was I sort of accidentally spent in 1 week, no, in 6 days it was. So this is all the days. So this was Sunday to Thursday. So from Sunday to Thursday, I spent about 14 hours watching YouTube. Now that is some warning signs to me. Like, I've never really looked at my YouTube analytics, but I looked at it once. It like just sort of popped up and was like, oh, you should probably look at this. So I did. I did what any person would do, and I looked at it, and I was a bit shocked. Okay, my phone just turned off, so I was a bit scared then. I was a bit shocked to find 14 hours. Like, if you think about it, 14 hours, you can do so much in 14 hours. You can sit there. You can, I could probably, if you gave me 14 hours dead, I could write a good book. Like, I could write a solid book, or I could read probably 3, 4, 5 books. And that's in a week. Well, that's not even a week, that's in 6 days. Which is crazy to me. Like, that's what I hate. The things that I could do if instead of sitting down and watching YouTube, if I maybe went outside and learned skateboarding, which I am learning skateboarding. It's come to a bit of a halt at the moment because it's been wet, cold, and winter, which is never a good combination. It's quite easy to slip. It's always bad when it's cold anyway. I've been learning to skateboard for like 3/4 of a year, not even that, half a year probably. And it's been tough, especially in winter. And I think because I can barely do, that's what I hate about just sort of doing it. I love skateboarding. It's one of my favourite things to do, and watching people do these insane tricks is always so cool. But what I hate about myself personally when it comes to that is I can never fully commit. Like, me and my 3 mates, I probably go out the most, just because I have a drive and it's a lot easier for me to do it. But bloody hell, man, I just waste so much time. Like, I'll go out for an hour, practice something. I'll be like, okay, you know what, this time I'm going to just practice a pop shove it. So that's when the board spins 180 degrees under your feet without you moving. So I'm going to spend an hour just solidly practicing this until I get it done and get it nailed. Because I could feasibly do it, I just find it really hard to commit and get the push. But I still can't do it. After so many times, I still can't do it. For one of the main reasons that I'll do it 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times over. And by the time I get sort of a bit closer, I just give up. And it's like, you know what? Instead of just doing this same boring thing over and over again, I'm just going to go back and forth, do an ollie, which I can do pretty well. It annoys me, and that's one of the goals actually. So actually a bit of a tangent, but I'm curving it back round. Don't worry. To what I want to do in 2020. One of the goals in 2020 that I set myself is to learn a kickflip, which is obviously, I'd say, one of the most notorious skateboarding tricks there is. Everyone sort of knows what that is. It's one way you kick the board. And I don't want to be just like, oh, I've learned the kickflip, right? I'm not doing anything else, so I'm not just going to jump straight to a kickflip. But I think if in the summertime, especially when it's warmer, I'm still going to practice, obviously, now, even though it's winter. I'm still going to try and go out now and again. But if in summer, I will try and just spend so much time out, just doing things, and, being able to look back on that summer and not be like, well, that shit, I've just wasted my entire summer watching fucking Gordon Ramsay or something, which I spent a lot of the back half of Christmas holidays doing, guilty pleasure that. I like Gordon. He's he gets put in a negative light, but I don't think he's that bad. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Just, there's just so much time I have that I just don't spend and I don't utilise because I just get home tired. Like, I have my GCSEs this year, and up to then, it's like every time I do revise, and I find revising very hard, just because it's like sitting there and looking over a piece over and over again. And if I'm ever bored, I'm gonna pretend to revise, and my brain will instantly like, all right, play the drums, or learn a guitar, or just do something, or it's not actually looking too bad outside. Maybe I could skate, or maybe I could, I don't know, go on a walk. I don't do something. Not just sit there and look at paper, or fucking half K squared sort of thing. Like I used to love science, when I was a wee lad, but nowadays I just find it's very forced, and it's almost like it's not like a choice to learn science. It's not like, well, I don't actually like magnetism. I find it quite interesting in how it works, but I don't like the behind the scenes bit where it's like you learn how it works to the full extent, where it's like, well, if you threw a magnet 100 meters in the sky and it attracted a ball 5 miles away, what would be the energy? It's like, I don't bloody know, man. I'm just dude trying to you know what I mean? I think they just push it to an extent where it's just not fun, like space. So this is what annoys me quite a lot about GCSE physics. So I do triple science, which it's separate science. It has many different names. It basically means, so normally, if you are not English, a normal science would be, so in our system we do GCSEs, and that's like from 14 to 16, I think. You choose these options which you do for GCSE, and basically it's sort of like, okay, you have to do science, you have to do English, maths, and a language. Unless you're dumb, then you'd have to do a language, then you can do something else. And then you get two or three options. Well, you can have 1, 2, or 3 options depending on how like intense it is almost. So I do separate science, which means one of my choices is a science. So I do all 3 sciences, whereas most people just do 2 sciences. But it's not like they just do, okay, I'll do biology and chemistry. They don't pick. It's more like you do them both. You do all 3 sciences, but it's just classed as 2 GCSEs. It's not classed as like, I just got an A in chemistry. I just got a B in physics. I'll just take those 2. I'll skip off biology. I don't know. It's very much quite. They try and make it open, but I think it makes it worse. And then the option ones that I was on about earlier is like, for most people, it's like, okay, you can do geography. So let's say you picked. So, okay, it's hard explaining off the top of my head. We do. So you can. So everyone does maths and English. Everyone does science, but you can choose whether you do 2 options as a science or 3 options as a science. I suppose choose. They basically tell you what to do, and if you don't, you basically. So it's annoying. So triple science, it makes you think you're like, oh, it's going to be the easiest next A level. It's going to be really easy to do, and it's just like learning science. But then you get put in a class with fucking geniuses that are like brains the size of continents, and they're all like, you get those like Indian people like swinging their hands and doing like crazy maths equations in their head. It's like that in the classroom, which I don't like. I wouldn't say I'm exactly the top of the class in any of my science lessons. I wouldn't even say I'm in the middle. I'm like middle bottom. But then again, it doesn't help, I feel, because then I feel like I'm not smart. I wouldn't say as I am. I'm not being like, I'm a genius, but it puts it down into perspective, thinking, I'm not actually smart. I thought I was pretty good. I got in triple science. I thought I was smarter like back then, but now I'm just looking at it and I'm like, well, I'm one of the worst in the class here. But then you think about it in context. The reason I'm one of the worst in the class is because pretty much everyone that's picked that subject is super intelligent. And you know how this is supposed to be on 2020? This is now gone to school life, which isn't on the agenda. So it's in 2020, I guess. GCSEs, it's all sort of linking together. But for A levels, I'm not doing a science. I'm doing English language, media, and maths. My computer turned off. Thank you. So another thing I was going to say is music. Now, I love music. I actually do it at GCSE, funnily enough. But the only problem with that is, I play the drums, so music GCSE and drums don't go together very well. Music GCSE and piano, that's like, it's literally just like the same lesson. Like a piano lesson, it's all like, okay, why do they use this? Well, it uses pianissimo, which is super quiet in Italian. And it's like, if I knew how to play a piano, then I could so easily, and did all the theory things of it as well, I could so easily pass music. But because it's literally like learning some form of Italian, I can't say it's one of my favourite subjects ever. But then again, it's fun. Well, let me rewind what I mean by saying fun. You spent 2 years doing the GCSE. So I did 2 years doing music. In the first year of GCSE music, it was terrible. So I had a teacher I didn't really like. We're learning about all these set pieces, and I was like, is there any good set pieces? The reality is there isn't, which is sad. And I was just here like, well, what am I gonna do now? You know, I'm just doing this GCSE I absolutely hate, and I don't really have a subject I enjoy. I think I like history. History's always been a good subject, and English language is always good, but you end up doing a lot more English literature than you do language, because literature is all the books that you study, like Shakespeare, and all the poems and things like that. Language is a lot more things where it's like write a speech or write a novel. So I enjoy that a lot more. And maths it's maths, isn't it? Maths is maths. Oh, man. It's like 1 o'clock. I might be getting lunch after this, actually. You know, I think actually I'm going to make it a bit shorter than I was originally planning to. I think a bit of a short one's it's never that bad. It's never a bad thing, I don't think. So I've got the sniffles. So that's about it. So music, as I was going on, I love music. Music GC, you do a bit of composition, which is always good, but it's not good, as you said, when I was a drummer. If I'm a drummer, see what I mean? By me not being able to speak properly. But like, if you're a drummer, you don't really know any sort of like melodic things. You don't know how to play a guitar. You know, like if you play the guitar, you can somewhat play a piano, in the sense that it's like, if you hit a note in a guitar, it can translate to a note on the piano, and you can plug a guitar into GarageBand, is what we use, and play something on the guitar, which plays it on a piano. But you can't plug a drum kit in and play a guitar, or you can't plug a drum kit in and play a piano. And even when it comes to playing a drum kit, you can literally press a button and GarageBand will use its huge brain and be like, well, I can calculate that this drum beat from this drummer sounds good with it, and I'll just stick that in. Or you can make it more complex, or you can make it louder and quieter, sort of thing. So I'm not really needed as such, which is a shame, saying it's my composition, and the only instrument that can be fully automated is my part, which sucks. But anyway, what I was thinking of doing in 2020 is making some form of music. Now, originally me and my 2 mates were planning to do this before 2020, but then one of them, the guitarist, broke his wrist. Now, I don't know about you, if you're a guitarist out there, I don't think you can play one-handed unless you're going to use your teeth, or your tongue, or your feet, or your toes, or something like that to play guitar. I don't think it's very doable, which is a shame. So he's been on hold since Christmas. So he did it for like a couple of weeks before Christmas, which sucked. And yeah, so he's got his cast off, but he's got like another brace on, which will probably be off soon. So we're probably going to hopefully do that in the summer. I think the summer is going to be, after GCSE, is going to be just productivity. You know, that summer holiday you get, which is like 3 months. I'm planning to just do so much stuff there, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good time. But anyway, I'm gonna move on from the 2020 topic. That's, as I said, I knew that was gonna take up quite a bit. It's taken about 15-20 minutes up, which is good. It's nice that. I'm gonna move on to a much more happier topic of, do you call it the coronavirus? I swear a corona's like a beer or something like that. Corona. Well, that one that everyone's like the plague, person playing Plague Inc. sort of thing. So I don't know much about it. You know, you'd think, oh, I'm going to chat about it, I'm going to at least research it of some sorts, but I didn't, because I won't say I don't care. That's it's such a bad thing to say, but I wouldn't say it's, well, I think the panic's a lot more bigger than everyone thinks it is. So you remember back in 2016, 2015, when was that Ebola song? Let me just Google Ebola. Ebola song. It was 2015. I was pretty cut. Oh, I accidentally went on Spotify. No. Yeah. So 2015, that was. That was when Ebola was at its peak. And you can remember, I'm pretty sure, how crazy everything went with Ebola. Everyone was like, well, shit, this is it, we're all gonna die, like Planet of the Apes or something. And yeah, sure, I'm pretty sure the one in China is like a bubonic plague type thing, which isn't nice. And from what I know, there's been 2 people in the EU, so I think it's 2 people from France flew back from China, and they got it. There's 1 person from the US, or maybe it's more from the US, I'm not sure quite exactly, has reported to have it. And, you know, it's good to spread awareness of these things in case someone that does have it ends up spreading it to a lot of people. But for now, we are fine. I'm pretty sure, although China is in a bit of a state with like 500 people reported to have it, which isn't great, but you gotta think about how many people are actually in China, where it's like 3 billion people out of, 500 out of 3 billion. So it's not exactly world threatening, and obviously going to find a cure for it eventually, or they're going to find a way to prevent it. And even if it means getting rid of the people, let's say the people that have it at the moment will die from it, at least it means we can almost guaranteed to control it enough where it's not going to go on a rampage and spread everyone like some random mutant person. And if it all goes to crap, we'll all just move to Greenland, because it's the safest place on Earth, apparently. So I don't think it's going to get anywhere, and I think the panic is a lot more of a hysteria than anything else, where it's just being created by the media just to get more clicks, and people are like, what is this thing everyone's on about that's like supposed to going to wipe out humanity? I don't know what it is. I'm not a virus thing. And I was looking at a thing, I was just browsing through these things, and I was looking at this article. It was things, just in order for this podcast, I was just looking at some things topics that are sort of a bit relevant, and the only one I got from that was actually the coronavirus or whatever it was, the alcohol virus. And one of them was just like, what is a virus? Like, this is BBC News, this is targeted mainly at British people. Now, I'm not sure about you, but everyone in GCSE physics, I don't know why I said physics, in GCSE biology, knows what a virus is. It's just like something that just damages cells. It's pretty obvious. It's not like, oh, it's some ancient ritual summoned years ago by Tutankhamun. I don't fucking know. Everyone's pretty aware of what it is in the 21st century. And there's no need to fret over it. I think it will be fine. I just feel like 2020 is apparently not a good year. We've had, World War III stopped at least. I think it's going to be the year of the survivor. Chinese New Year, I don't know what it is. Like, you have the pig or something. Let's have a go of what year of is it year of the rat? Is the year of the rat? Oh, okay. That's okay. I mean, I was expecting it to be something a bit more uplifting. Rats are clever, quick thinkers, successful, but content with living a quiet and peaceful life. Well, 2020 has been far from peaceful or quiet. So far. What am I? I'm pretty sure I'm a sheep. Year of the sheep. Maybe it's ram. That's 2027. Oh my god, as if I remember, that was legit my birthday, 2003. As if I can remember my Chinese year just from remembering it from, it was like first school, so like nearly a decade ago. Which is good, at least my memory is still existent. I don't remember it being, not gonna lie. So yeah, the coronavirus was what I was saying. I think 2020 is going to have a lot of things like that hopping up, climate change, especially with the bushfires as well. You know, we came into 2020 weak. I think we're going to leave it strong, you know. And we're going to deal with bushfires, going to deal with probably a terrorist attack that normally happens. A virus that's going to kill us all. That's always good. That happens every 5 years, apparently. We're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. World War III, that's all settled down, I'm pretty sure. Well, we're not sure. In the West, it has. I'm not sure how it's going in the East over there. And yeah, I think 2020 is going to be going to be a resilient year. So going to have to get through it and come out on the other side better off than we were to start with. You know? Is this a horoscope sort of thing? I'm going to check my daily horoscope. Why not? Why not? Why shouldn't we? You know, I've got the resources here. Here we are, Scorpio Horoscope, that's me. I like Scorpio, it just sounds cool. So let's go. January 25th, that is today, 2020. Some upsetting news regarding money could throw you into a bit of a dither today. Scorpio. Oh, okay, that's how they're referring. That's my name now. My name. Don't refer to me as Ben. That's my name, by the way. Refer to me as Scorpio from now on. Perhaps a check you've been expecting hasn't arrived on time, or maybe the bank has made a computer error regarding your account. Well, the issue is, I got my bank set up yesterday, so I don't think that's. I hope not, because then, you know, second day of having it, that's not the best. It's nothing that can't be straightened out, though it is going to be a pain making all of those phone calls. Haha. Basically, all should be going very, very well for you. This is a temporary hindrance. What? That's just bollocks, isn't it? So they basically say all this shit's gonna go bad for you. But basically, all should be going very well for you, and a temporary hindrance. It's dumb. Like, imagine taking your horoscope seriously. I know, right? Anyway, final topic now, so it's going to probably leads up to the end, leads into the final bit of it is YouTube and YouTube's current state. When don't you hear about someone complaining about YouTube every now and again? And now I think YouTube is dying out. You may think, Ben, that's quite a strong thing to have. Saying literally a few minutes ago, you were saying, you know, you still spend 14 hours of YouTube in 6 days. That's quite a bit of time. I was like, yeah, I know it is. But I don't think YouTube's going to last much longer. I think it's going to be very much like retail stores. Do you remember, not even that long ago, it was about a decade ago, you'd go into Toys R Us, absolutely buzzing atmosphere. Everyone be chucking toys in it, and they'd be making absolute baller moves. And yet Toys R Us was doing good for themselves, and at the moment Toys R Us is no longer a thing. You know, it's crazy to think this huge company that's like, what you'd see is a behemoth of a company, I think, just sort of collapsed within a few months, a few years, which is a sad shame, because that's, our childhood's sort of gone, you know, internet and all that taking over, but what can you do? Times move on. And I think something like that is going to be coming over to YouTube pretty soon. I think places like Twitch, where there's a lot less restrictions on them, and a lot more places, like if you go onto Twitch, I'm just going to compare this now. I'm going to go incognito on my on the old PC, and I'm just going to search up YouTube. So I'm not going to be logged in as anyone, I'm just going to go on YouTube. And I'm going to do the same, and I'm just going to go on Twitch. I hope it doesn't make me sign in. No. Good. So, first of all, we'll go into YouTube. So the first thing I see when I go into YouTube: bodybuilder tries strongman. Clueless white guy orders imperfect Chinese. Some otter. This ultra-modern tiny house. Keanu Reeves. Secret profile pipe. They're all big places. Like, if I look, every single one of these accounts are pretty much verified. Or they have over pretty much 500,000 subscribers. You know, there's not a single one of these that is a small account. Even going through here, if I go, well, that's trending. I mean, that's understandable. And a lot of them are very, quite, they're just ones that are just clickbaity almost, where they're all just out to get views. Like, deep cleaning a really dirty mom car. And then there's one that's like a Joker scene from the film, which obviously people are going to watch because they don't want to buy the DVD. They're going to watch that instead. And it's a Lego thing. 10 most inspiring animal rescues. James Corden, when isn't he on there? BT Sports with some fighting bollocks. Like, it's all big companies or big companies or people that are pretty famous already. Like, the Sidemen and Bazinga. You know, there's not exactly, I don't think I could go here and find someone that had under 100k for quite a while. But then we're going to just skip over to Twitch, and admittedly, Twitch is a completely different playing field. People don't have exactly the same amount of followers as a lot of people watching Twitch. But I'm just going to go on. So this is the home page here. There's recommended live channels. Now, all of these do have about... so the lowest one here has 4k, and I think it's someone sleeping. I'm not sure, an advert just killed me, which is a shame. Which, I'd just say that's another thing about Twitch, but you only get like one advert, you don't get a billion. But you know, you just look at this, this person is sleeping. Look, I might do that. If this person can literally sleep and get 18 million total views, sort of thing. But if we look at this, followers, they have 1 million followers, which obviously they're doing pretty well for themselves. And if you go and discover, okay, this is what I was going to go on about. If I go on recommended, like literally this is on the home page pretty much, all you do is just scroll down past the recommended categories, and if you go on, let's say, recommended just chatting categories, there's some here with quite a low amount of views. Now, they're not dormant channels, but they're quite low amount of views, and you can still go down. So here we are. So there's recommended just chatting, recommended Fortnite, and then recommended Escape from Tarkov. And 4th, 5th, 6th. The 6th person recommended has 21 viewers. And this person only has 1,000 followers. Like, can you imagine if you went on YouTube, it's like, okay, recommended, just recommended in general, and you went, okay, 4th one down, what is it in this one? Oh, it's Dude Perfect, followed by This Morning. you know, there's a BBC America in there, which doesn't make sense. British broadcasting. You know what I mean? It's just YouTube has a lot of things it just does not push as much sort of diversity as this. And that's what I loved about Twitch when I used to do it a lot. If I just basically, let's say I went on recommended categories. Okay, PUBG's doing well, Fortnite's doing well. Let's say I was going to play Fortnite. You can go on Fortnite and you can scroll down the list. And if I scroll down like 2 pages, you get into really small ones with like only like 15 viewers sort of thing, which is crazy. Okay, there's Hitman here. I didn't know Hitman was actually this popular. There's 2 people playing Hitman, and it's just there. You can just see. It's not like they're hiding anyone. You can see who is playing Hitman, and it's just there. Which I think is something that YouTube are not doing. You know, let's say I was to go on YouTube. I'm going to go YouTube gaming. They're not going to give me a category. I'm not allowed to do it. They're just going to say, oh, Call of Duty League launch week. But I'm going to do the exact same thing. So here we are, Minecraft. We're on the Minecraft category here. And on the recommended, we'll go through it. 4.6 million views. Norris Nuts Gaming, Dan TDM. They're all really popular viewers with a lot of views, a lot of videos. It's not like I can just find anyone on here. And it doesn't keep, which is something here, is if I go on things like this, it's like, okay, recommended. They just recommend ones with 1 million views, 700k views. It's not like I can keep going on here till I find someone with 10 views. Which, okay, you may be thinking, okay, Ben, that's all one could say that. But it is Minecraft. It's the biggest game on YouTube at the moment. So let's go to a smaller game. Let's go... Civ 6. Civ 6, small game. Okay, we're going to go on the recommended videos. 200k, 700k, 1.7 million. The lowest one here has 30k. You know, and okay, this person does have 1,000 subscribers, which is quite surprising. But most of this guy's videos have about 30, 50k, so it's already earned the trust of YouTube, if you like, where he's got a few pretty well-known videos. Okay, we're going to go Battlefield 5. And all the recommended ones, they all have a lot of views. He's not chucking out, like, the one here does have 578 views, but that's live, and let's be honest, who watches live things from YouTube? No one. That's who does it. So that's what it is. Restriction, suppression, and tiny channels, and not being able to grow because of YouTube. Which is sad, which is a shame. And that's how I think YouTube's going to die, is basically companies are going to take over, and only the biggest YouTubers will survive, and the rest will die. Which is sad, which is a shame, but we've been here for 45 minutes now, which is a lot of time. I could have been doing something else. So I'm going to cut you off. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you later.